Hello everyone, welcome to yet another episode of talking with me live on Insta. So this today's episode has to do more with the art of parenting. இப்போ பேரண்டிங் அப்படின்னா இட்ஸ் மூட் அவுட் ஆஃப் தி டொமைன் ஆஃப் என்ன சொல்கிறது, குழந்தைங்க வந்து தானாக வளர்ந்துருவாங்க, இல்லை குழந்தைங்களை வளர்த்துறதுக்கு வந்து ஒரு ஊரே இருக்கும் அப்படிங்கிறது. இட்ஸ் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் மூவ்ட், யூ கைண்ட் ஆஃப் evolved. Parenting is not just rearing your child. It's also giving them enough emotional support to ensure that they are well taken care of mentally and physically. So what my sessions usually are I don't want to give you a fixed solution. I do not want to give you a single solution for bringing up children, because there is no single solution for bringing up children, and there is no magic formula for better parenting, unlike what is being espoused online or elsewhere. There's absolutely no magic formula, and it's all on the basis of trying out a few things, seeing if they are working for you, and then moving on to the next one if it's not working. Adapting yourself to whatever your child requires is more important. So children அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து when you look at their milestones, right from the time that they are born to 18 months, I think the most important thing, the focus of a parent is to kind of develop trust, to form attachments, and the tasks that the children do is like crawling, walking, your gross motor skills, eating with spoon, drinking from a cup, right, saying small words, and stuff like that. And your behavioral expectations would be that they would smile at you, they would develop stranger anxiety, இந்த வேத்து முகம் பார்க்கறதுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா அது, and attachment to objects, and imitating others. All these are the behavioral expectations that we kind of expect out of a baby from the age of 0 to 18 months. Toddlers from 2 to 3 years, pathina, it's more about the focus for the toddlers, or the milestones that we generally judge is based on how they establish a distinct self. That is more important, like feeding, toileting, testing their limits, forming their growth, following simple instructions, step by step instructions, how they do it. And the behavioral expectations that we have of this particular age group, 2 to 3 years, is defiance. Now, please do understand, the first term that I've told you is defiance. Defiance is not listening to what you have to say. So that is expected, and that is supposed to come in a child in that particular age. They are supposed to say no. They're supposed to learn how to say no, right? Also, they get easily frustrated at that age. They are moody, they're volatile, and they are seemingly demanding, right? Preschooler pathina 4 to 5 years la they start exploring independently, and they develop self control, and they're starting to discover themselves. They're starting to discover how they are sharing with other people, and how they are making connections. So what are the behavioral expectations that we can expect out of that particular age group is empathy, how to the desire to help, the innate desire to help their classmate or their batchmate. More vocabulary, more words, knowing more words, imagination, creativity, and we also expect a very poor sense of time from that particular age group, this 4 to 5 years. I mean, I've seen and I've heard of numerous parents complaining that their children never get up on time or get ready on time, and getting them to school on time is a big task, and that is an expected milestone in that particular age group, which is 4 to 5 year old. Now, if you look at their kind of socio-emotional development that a child should have, is basically developing a sense of self and confidence, forming relationships, experiencing and managing emotions, and establishing empathy with others. One major component of socio-emotional development that I feel that as a child they should develop is attachment, which is basically it kind of begins with parental bonding, right? It begins through timely response of needs, and all this I think we are able to establish at a very young age, the way we respond to them when they come to us, how we respond to them when they ask for help. All that starts in that age itself. Now, why art of parenting? Why this particular topic was, I've had parents come up to me literally and ask, why is parenting that difficult a task these days? I mean, we were all born, right? We were all we were all reared in a manner that it seemed as if we were just let be. They would just let us be. and we would just grow up, right? But then after a point, what happened is, as the structure of the society changed, I think the way we looked at children, the way children looked at us also starts changing. Right? Now, parenting, especially in this century, 21st century, is not an easy task at all. The kind of structure changing, the kind of stressors that are there, that are emerging every day, these keep changing. Now, parents literally have to walk on a tightrope. It's like a balancing act. You can't be too cozy with the child, or at the same time, you can't be too demanding. You can't be too autocratic. So, the rules are changing. So, the concept of parenting is also changed. And I think the most important part I follow, try to follow, and I also establish my clients also to follow, is the 5 rule structure of nurturing your child. Now, what are those 5 rules? 1, follow the golden ratio. What is the golden ratio? 5:1. Basically, before telling them one negative thing or one reprimand, please ensure to say at least 5, how do I say this, encouraging things to them. Like, before telling them, why haven't you picked up the toys, or this is not nice, tell them 5 things that will make them feel proud about themselves. I think that has usually helped, in even as an educator, that is a rule that we also follow, that is usually kind of helped us establish that rapport with the child, right? Embrace your child's uniqueness. Please do not compare. For God's sake, do not compare. It is very easy to compare. I think most of our ads and the the society also dictates us to look at what the others are doing. I mean, we ourselves do it, but when it comes to our kids, I think we need to start looking at our kids as individuals, embrace their uniqueness, and see who they are. Try to protect that. Try to instill that sense of self-worth and confidence in our child. That helps a lot. The third thing is, this is something that I think the 90s and the 80s kids would understand, which is, your child is not a social trophy. It is not something that you can, show off to your friends or family. Do not do this ever. And it is harmful, because your child feels overburdened. They might not tell you, they might not even know what it is. But ultimately what happens is, they feel overburdened with all the expectations, and their behavioral changes also, or rather their attitude also starts changing with that, right? Make your child feel secure. Again, your stress, yes, life is hard. Yes, things go on. Yes, things are not always hunky-dory all the time, right? But revealing, or rather showing your emotional stress or financial stress to your child is not going to help them feel secure at all. Remember, for the children at that age, the strong sense of emotional security is more important, and that helps them perform better in school and have a healthier adulthood. Never say no to spending time with them. So I thought I was doing good with my own kids, right? Because I have been trying to establish that sense of security with them. But one fine day, in fact, last week, my son wrote a quote in our board. We have a board in our house where we keep writing stuff, whatever we feel like. So my son wrote this quote on board that says that, one of the most important things is the time that you spend as a family. Now, if I just look at it off the cuff, I'm like, okay, this is a nice quote, and, just let it be. But then I started thinking as to, like a typical mother, I guess. I started thinking, if the time that I spend with my children is not, that much, if they feel that I need to spend more time with them, right? So your child wants to share their lives with you. So spending quality time is, and how much ever time it is important. Ask them about their day, converse together as a family, and I think that is going to help you establish or nurture your children much more than anything else, buying them or staying in touch with them in any other way, right? Also, when it comes to discipline, I follow a couple of things that I'm still learning and still kind of trying to reiterate. One is, punishment is not discipline. It is very easy for us to take out a stress or take out any tension on our part on our children, because ultimately we come from a society, or we have a generational upbringing that adichalu titnalu ava amma appa, that kind of concept still exists within us. We were reared like that. It is very easy for me also to kind of taunt them or poke at them verbally, in case they are not, or rather in case they don't do things that they're supposed to do it, right? But the point is, I think we as parents also, we need to start learning how to abstain from physical violence and verbal abuse, because children, if they are scolded more, research shows that they tend to internalize that they are bad, and that is not something that we have to impose on our children, right? If we keep repeating that they are doing bad behavior, they think on their own that they are bad, which is not the case. So it is very essential for us to reprimand their bad behavior, but not make them feel that they are bad. That is why initially I told you the 5:1 ratio, where you tell them 5 good things or 5 encouraging things before you tell them that one thing that they need to change or that they need to learn, right? Also finding the reason, most of the time finding the reason behind the negative behavior also plays a very important role, because you're kind of looking behind the emotion behind why your child is behaving in that certain manner. It could be anger, it could be sadness, it could be lack of self-esteem. Some some negative behavior may also be a symptom of a graver problem that they might not be able to share with you, right? Don't hesitate to talk to them. If you are not able to solve it, do not hesitate to seek professional advice. What are the how do you shape responsible young people? Now that is a question that I'm asked again and again. I think shaping responsible young people is something that we need to look at in different stages. So when they are children, and when they are babies, and when they are preschoolers, I think we need to look at that aspect. So what babies need prompt response to their needs. So when they cry or when they call out, you pick them up. Eye contact, communication in time, with time for response, physical contact, affection, a calm home environment. That's what babies need, right? And what do toddlers need? Toddlers are from the age of, let's say, 2 to 4. So toddlers need a calm and safe presence. They know storms happen, they know some things happen, but they are still not aware of how to self-regulate. So I think they need that anchor at that time. They need compassion and respect. They need physical contact and affection. They need boundaries. They need abundant physical activity. If you look at preschoolers, I think again, physical contact and affection is a very common theme that will go on in my how do you say this, in the way we in my whole presentation or in my whole talk, because I believe that physical contact is something that will make the child feel very secure, and that too very fast, right? Encouragement to use emotional language for expression rather than their behavior is also something that we expect out of preschoolers. Again, a calm home environment is something that they seek. All right. So this were the few topics that I felt as parents that we should know and we would be interested in. Other than this, I'll keep answering questions as and when they come about art of parenting, because art of parenting, as I keep telling my parents and my clients also, that it's something that needs to be perfected with practice, and it is something that needs to be tailored to your needs, to suit your needs. So the common questions that I have been asked time and again is how to handle temper tantrums, which I have already dealt with in my previous presentation or previous live. Anything else that you feel would help you or help others also, or if you have any methods or techniques that would help parents, please do share. The whole objective of these live sessions, I believe, is to nurture a support environment that is going to help growth and help us also learn from each other. We need to make meaningful connections with each other, and the main goal is to build strong bonds with our children. We need to cultivate within our child, we need to cultivate a sense of curiosity, a sense of imagination in their lives, and we need to celebrate the uniqueness of each child and empower them. That is the real purpose of why we do these lives and why we share information across the table. Now, people have also tried to understand as to why I am so passionate about hosting these shows. That is because I find my why is very simple. I believe that as parents, we have the power to shape the way we raise our child and nurture our children. And by looking at it very consciously and being very positive about it, I think we can create a ripple effect of love, kindness and empathy throughout the society. through the families, right? So my main function is to empower parents, build stronger connections, and foster a kinder world. That is it for today's session. So in case you have any queries, please do, as usual, share it across, and we can have a meaningful conversation. And thank you so much for the viewers you have tuned in. Thank you for being a part of this community and this live and joining me on this session. I believe that together, when we start sharing knowledge especially about parenting these days, we can learn a lot from each other. Thank you and bye-bye.